Hi team, today we'll try to understand how to insert sheet, columns, rows, and cells on Google Sheet. There are two ways of doing each of them. We'll look at it individually. To start up with, we'll see how to add worksheets. Sheets are nothing but different tabs that are available here. So as you keep on adding sheets, new tabs will be available. Yeah. So let's explore how to insert sheets. So I'll go to insert menu, click on sheet. Keep an eye on the left bottom corner of the screen. You will see one sheet getting added after sheet 9. So I'm clicking on sheet, insert sheet. You'll see sheet 11 has got added. So this is one way of adding a sheet. Yeah. The second way of adding a sheet is you can see this plus icon at the bottom left hand corner, which can be used to add a sheet. So if I click on the plus sign, you'll be able to add a sheet. Yes. Let's move this aside so that you can see. So as I said, if you click on this plus sign, you will see one more sheet getting added. So you got to know the sheet 12 has got added here. So this is the way we add sheets on Google Sheets. Let's move on to our next option, which is inserting columns. Yeah. So again, there are two ways of inserting a column. Either you go to insert, say columns, insert column to the left, insert column to the right. We'll first see the options and then try to insert columns. So insert column to the left, insert column to the right. So this is the column options available in insert menu. Apart from that, if we click on any of the column, if we select the heading of the column and right click on that column, you will see these two options again in the form of a menu. Yeah. So there are two ways of doing insert column as well. As I said, go to insert, say columns, insert column left, insert column right, or you click a particular column and decide whether you want the column to the left of the selected column or to the right. So I'll show you how it happens. Suppose I'm selecting this column quantity. Yeah, and I want one column to be added. That is where we need to decide whether you want it to the left or you want it to the right. So suppose I click on to the left. So you'll find a new column being created at the left of the quantity column, which we have selected. If I want a column to the right, I'll select insert column, one column to the right. So you can see there is one column being added. Now suppose you select multiple columns. I select suppose 4 columns. Yeah. Suppose I select 4 columns and try to insert. Now you'll see it will ask you whether you want to add 4 columns to the left or 4 columns to the right. Yeah. So suppose I want to add 4 columns to the right. So you'll see after this unit cost, there are 4 columns getting added. Yeah. So there are 4 columns which have got added. So this is how you add columns to any worksheet. So you add it to the left of the selected column or to the right of the selected column. Now I'll just undo all this, and you know how to undo it from my previous sessions. Next is inserting rows. We have seen how we insert columns to the left. Now when we are inserting columns, you get an option to add it to left and right. But on rows, you get an option to add rows above or below. So suppose I'm selecting the eighth row. Yeah, it will either insert a row which is above the eighth row or below the eighth row. Now again, there are two ways of inserting rows in Google Sheet. Is either I go to insert, say rows, insert one row above. You can see a row has got added above the record that we have selected. If I want a record or row to be added below this product key 2156, I'll say insert rows, row below. Yeah, cool. Same way as I said, there are two ways of doing it as we did for insert columns. So you select the row entirely, right click on the heading, that's the row heading, that's 9, and you insert one row above or one row below. So you can do it from insert, or you right click on the row that has been selected and you will get an option to insert row above or insert row below. Same way, if you select multiple rows, suppose I select five rows, it will ask me to add 5 rows above or 5 rows below. Same way as we did for columns. Yeah, pretty simple. Let me undo all this thing and let's explore the last option that we have now is about inserting cells. Yeah. So now when we are inserting cell, either it can move the value to the right. Yeah. Yeah, it will move the cell value towards the downside of the sheet. How it happens, I'll show you separately on a different sheet. So suppose I have A, B, C as a value. Yeah. Now I want to insert 10, 20, 30. Yeah. Suppose I want to insert a cell here in A. And if I try to do that, insert cells, shift cells right. Yeah, I'll just move this aside so that you'll understand what is the effect that is causing. I'll just keep it here. I want to insert a cell at the place of A, and I click on insert cells and shift right. So what will happen? A and 10 will move to the right while I'm trying to insert one cell at I2 cell. So let's do that. Cells, insert cells and shift right. You will see A and 10 moving to the right. Yes, because I have inserted a new cell here. Yeah, Control Z. Now again, if I try to insert cells and shift down, what will happen is A, B, C and will move down. Yeah, 10, 20, 30 will remain at the same place. So insert cells and shift down. See? So this is how it takes effect when you are inserting a cell in Google Sheet. Now you can have multiple cells being selected and doing the same operation. So suppose I select A and 10 together. Yeah. And I'll say cells, insert cells and shift down. So if I try to place two cells instead of A and 10, it will move A, B, C and 10, 20, 30, one cell below. You see this? If I set multiple rows and multiple cells, and if I try to insert and I say cells, shift down, it will move to cells below. So be very cautious while moving such or inserting such, because what usually happens when you are doing data analysis, if such movement usually scatters the data. So for an example, if I try to insert cells and try to shift right, you'll see A, which is not relevant to this column, has come into that column, whereas 22 has gone orphan, where there is no value in that particular column. So this distortion can happen if you do not choose these options wisely. Yeah. Again, as I said earlier, you can also have the second option, like as we did for insert rows, columns, and sheet. Cells also, we can do it the same way. Select the cell that you want to shift, or you want to insert your a new cell in, right click on it, and you will get an option to insert cells. So you can insert cell and shift right, and insert cell and shift down. Yes, it's the same option which are available in insert. Now, when you are inserting cells, there are two other options also come that also comes handy. That is insert one row above. Why one row above? Because we have selected one row. So if you see the second row has got selected, and if I try to insert one row above, it will shift the entire A, B, and the A 10 and 22 entirely, because we have shifted a row. We have inserted a row. Same way, if I try to insert a column, it will ask me insert two columns to the left. So it will ask me to insert two columns to the left. So it also provides not only to add cells, but also provide options to insert a row or columns based on the selection that you do or the data that you choose where you want to insert your rows, columns, or cells. I hope you understand how you understood the easier ways on how we can do this operations.